2019 Week 7 predictions and picks coming your way right now.
Hey.
What is up and welcome to another special edition of Lego on Fuego's college football predictions and picks. Now, as I say every week, this is all for fun, kind of like College Game Day does prior to the noon kickoff games. So these picks are for fun and nothing more and are meant to be discussed in the comments below. You know I find my way down there. However, if you are mostly concerned with my spread picks, they're going to be pinned in the comments below on Monday at some time. Alright, disclaimer over. This week is unreal. Probably the best this season has seen so far. Let's start off with that lightning round game I like to call Score for No Reason, where I give you a score, but I don't give you a reason. Give them to me. Syracuse at NC State. NC State 30-26. Virginia at Miami. Miami with the upset special in this one. Yes, I said it. And I really like the Wahoos. But in this game, I have an inkling on Miami. I'm going to go 24-20 Canes. Colorado at Oregon. 45-26 Oregon. Washington at Arizona. 37-27 Washington. Washington State at Arizona State. 28-25 Arizona State. Nebraska at Minnesota. 30-22 Cornhuskers. BYU at South Florida. Oh, hello there. I'll go 31-20 BYU. Bam! That was dope. Alright, this next segment seems to be a crowd favorite. It's called Least Likely, Mid Likely, Most Likely. That's where I take 3 options and I give you the least likely to lose, the mid likely to lose, and the most likely to lose. What are my options this week? Mississippi State at Tennessee. Struggle City. Got it. Louisville at Wake Forest. An ACC clash. Noted. And lastly, Hawaii at Boise State. Oh, well that helps me out a little bit. Boise State for sure will be my least likely to lose up against Hawaii. Now Hawaii actually has a 2-1 record against the Pac-12. Unfortunately, those Pac-12 teams are Arizona and Oregon State. Boise State gets it done with good defense and steady offense. Don't forget my actual spread picks are pinned in the comments below sometime on Monday. My mid likely to lose here would be Mississippi State. Now I went to Tennessee, I hope for them to get better, but this year just doesn't look like the year that's going to happen. The only reason why I'm a little bit hesitant on this game is that Tennessee knocked off Auburn and Kentucky last year, so is this potentially the game where things go right for them here in 2019? I'm betting not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Thus explaining the mid-likely theory. Most likely would be you, Louisville. You have definitely shown a lot of improvement this year, but I like that Wake Forest offense at home. Seems like they'll score too much on you for you to be able to keep up the pace. Okay, next let's go over some commenter questions because I like to keep my viewers involved. That sounded cheesy, but it's real. Question number 1 comes from Edward Lee. He asked, how did you come from UCF winning big to UCF only favored by 4.5? Seems too good to be true. Take Cincinnati here. That's a great question, Edward, and it's a good chance for me to give some good betting advice. Some advice that, had I used it for the Ohio State-Michigan State game, I would have won that one, but I was stubborn and stuck with Michigan State, to cover the spread at least. And that advice is that if you come up with an idea of what the score is going to be before the spreads even come out, and then when the spreads come out, they're just way different than what you originally thought, odds are that your best bet is to go with the complete opposite of what you originally planned and just do a complete 180. That's why I came from UCF winning big to picking Cincinnati, and you saw Cincinnati won. Thanks for the question. Leroy Jenkins. Have you guys ever seen that video? Otherwise, I look stupid. Anyways, Leroy Jenkins asks, what do you think of a 32-team college football playoff? Leroy, I understand your excitement for college football, but that's just a little much for me. I would go with 6 teams personally, 8 teams at the most. I think with 4 teams, you're punishing teams that are scheduling tough out-of-conference opponents and teams that are playing in tough conferences in general. And no offense to my subscribers out there whose team plays in a weaker conference, but that's just my case. Teams like Clemson literally can coast there. Now, Clemson would probably get in regardless in most conferences, but it would make it a lot harder if they were to play in the Big Ten or SEC. That's why I say you go to 6 instead of 4. And let's just use an example here. Let's say that Georgia had lost to Notre Dame. Now all of a sudden they're playing in the SEC and they have a lot of tough opponents still left on their schedule and they're already playing from behind. Whereas other teams play a weak out-of-conference schedule and play in a weak conference in general. Why give that advantage to them when they didn't earn it? So 6 with 1 and 2 getting a bye. Thank you for the question, Leroy. Comment of the week goes to my boy, No Joke Vino. He says that he loves my energy and comedy. Now, I've told you this plenty of times before, but seriously, from the bottom of my heart, man, that means the world to me. Comments like those are everything. I'm not one of those kind of people that need positive affirmation for every little video I make, but it does feel good, and it keeps you going on YouTube when you know that the people watching are supporting you on a regular basis, and they continue to come back for the material that you provide. And on top of that, it makes me want to be better. It makes me want to take every single video and put it to the next level each time, 1% better, day by day. So no joke, Vino, and people who leave comments like you, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. As always, some excellent questions. If you didn't get featured this time around, hang in there. I'm sure you'll get your shot. Plus, I'm just over 1,000 subs right now. Don't you want to wait until I get to like bigger numbers? Then you'll get the notoriety you deserve. Next up, we have the segment I call, You Upset, Bro? This is where I take 2 potential upsets and I give you one that you can have total confidence in. This week, I'm choosing between the Penn State at Iowa game, where I imagine Iowa will be the underdog, and the Southern Cal at Notre Dame game, where I imagine Southern Cal will be the underdog. And for my upset pick of the week, I'm rolling with Iowa over Penn State. My only concern with this is that I'm not sure that Iowa is going to be the underdog. I guess a lot of that depends on how the Nittany Lions and the Hawkeyes play this week. If they aren't, check back in the comments. I'll pick a different upset for you. I like Iowa here because this has Iowa written all over it. At Kinnick Stadium at 7:30 p.m. In 2017, they crushed Ohio State's dreams under similar circumstances. In that same year, it took a last-second touchdown out of McSorley and company for Penn State to get the W out of there. And in 2016, they broke the hearts of my Michigan Wolverines, winning 14-13 on a last-second chip shot field goal. Here's hoping that doesn't happen to me this weekend, but if you're watching this, you already know that result. Yep, that's it. Iowa takes this one. Notre Dame wins somewhat comfortably at home. You can't roll into South Bend with a third-string quarterback and expect a win. Okay, let's get some more picks in before really delving into the 2 biggest games of the week. Time to premiere a game I'm going to be calling Crush or Compete, where you give me an okay game, and I'm going to let you know if the favorite is going to crush the underdog or if the underdog is going to compete against the favorite. Let's see if we can get this one in one take. Shoot. Florida State at Clemson. You kidding me? Clemson after a bye? After that scare at North Carolina? Yeah, this is a definite crush. Clemson 47, Florida State 23. South Carolina at Georgia. Much harder one here. South Carolina didn't look terrible against Alabama, but Georgia has looked really good all season. Even in the game where they didn't look absolutely stellar, they still looked pretty efficient against Notre Dame. I'll say crush again. Georgia 37, South Carolina 18. Alabama at Texas A&M. Man, can we go back to last year and play this game then? Oh, they did that already? Sometimes I forget A&M's in the SEC, let alone what division they're in. For real though, this is a hard one. A&M hasn't really looked impressive this season, most notably in their last win against Arkansas, 31-27. A&M's biggest strength when it's clicking is what? Their pass offense. Those receivers are studs. They just need Mon to play better and get them the ball. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go out on the limb here and say compete. Don't let me down, Aggies. Gig 'em. I still like Alabama to get the win, but I'm gonna pick a modest score here, 40-29. Is that considered competing? I don't know anymore. But I'll tell you this, if Michigan was within 11 points of Alabama, I'd consider it competing. Michigan State at Wisconsin. Oh, compete all day. That's a no-brainer in my opinion. Wisconsin is a really good football team, but they better take this Spartan team seriously and not look 2 weeks down the road at Ohio State. Same concept as the Alabama A&M game. What is Wisconsin's strength here? Running the football. What is Michigan State's strength on defense? Stopping the run, as it has been for years. What Wisconsin did against my Michigan Wolverines was completely bully them around. Is that going to happen to Michigan State? No, and I'll tell you why. As much as I don't like to admit it, Michigan's front seven is very small. Michigan State's is not. This is an area of expertise for Michigan State. It was not for Michigan. They won't be able to bully Sparty like they did the Wolverines. Jack Cohn is going to have to play well. I think he's going to play all right, but not what I would consider well. I think... Oh my gosh! It's happening! Uh-oh. Y'all know what that is. That, my friends, is the upset alarm. Now, I picked Michigan State to upset Ohio State last weekend, but then I saw Michigan State play against Indiana, and I saw Ohio State play against Nebraska, and I went back on that pick. Real quick. Again, check back with me on Monday, but as of right now, I like Michigan State to pull the upset off on the road. It is going to be a very wild Saturday in my opinion. We're due up for one, and this one looks like low-hanging fruit. The Spartans seem to do this against someone every single year, and a lot of times that someone is either Penn State or Michigan. This time, it will be Wisconsin that's the victim. Also, what's with Wisconsin having to play Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State out of the Big Ten East? This is an absolute flaw in college football scheduling, and it's something I'm going to make a video on in the distant future, probably when the season's over. But let me know your thoughts below on that. I mean, is it fair that one team from the West has to play 3 of the big dogs from the East, while the other teams from the West don't have to play some of those teams? It automatically puts Wisconsin at a disadvantage to win the Big Ten West. Let's see if they handle business anyway. Back to the game, Michigan State with some great defense and methodical offense, they take it 27-24. Okie doke, 2 games left on the slate, LSU against Florida and the Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas. Let's start off with the Gators and the Tigers. Florida to date hasn't looked wonderful, but they've done everything they need to do and they've won every single game. Of course, I don't know what happened against Auburn, and that obviously could go either way, but I picked Florida. Regardless of what happens, this is still a huge game for both squads. The reason why I like LSU in this game, as odd as this is for me to say, is their offense. Their offense presents something that's a huge problem for the rest of the SEC because they're not used to really seeing it. And outside of Georgia and Alabama, I'm not sure anyone will know what to do about it. While the Gators defense is pretty dang good, it's not good enough to stop what LSU has going on. SEC teams, as you know, would much rather have grinded out type of games, not you have to score 30 plus to even have a chance to win type of games. I think LSU does a great job at demanding that you now play their new style of game, and I don't think the Gators will be able to stop Joe Burrow's hot streak. Now, I was wrong about LSU's defense, at least to date. They haven't been near as good as we thought they would be. However, in their defense, they of course have been on the field a lot more than what they're used to because their offense is putting up points in a hurry. Luckily for them, they're not facing Sam Ehlinger in this one, they're facing Kyle Trask. That's not dogging Trask as much as it is saying that Ehlinger is a really, really good quarterback. Florida keeps it close because, well, it's LSU and Florida and they like to butt heads, but LSU takes this one 36-28. And up now, the Red River rivalry, or shootout. I mean, I don't know what you guys call it anymore. Now, I have had my clashes with some Oklahoma fans. I just do not understand you guys sometimes. Last year, I actually picked you guys to win this game in the regular season, but you didn't focus on that. You focused on the fact that I said that Sam Ehlinger's stats and Kyler Murray's stats were going to be identical. I think I called them a wash specifically. You were appalled that I would say that about your eventual Heisman Trophy winner. How dare I say that Ehlinger could have the same stats as him? In fact, instead of just paraphrasing, here's what I actually said. Roll it. I really like both quarterbacks here, and I don't think that either quarterback is going to break this game for his team. In other words, I think both quarterbacks are going to have a great day throwing the football, and particularly in Murray's case, running the football as well. Ehlinger has really teetered around the 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interception area. Against Oklahoma's defense, I think I like him for around 323, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Murray, on the other hand, has been a little less predictable. I'm thinking in this one, he'll go for 280 by air, 70 by ground, 4 touchdowns, 1 with his legs, and 1 interception. So that's 3 passing touchdowns and 1 running touchdown, just so we're clear. Basically, what I'm saying is the QB position with both defenses in mind is a bit of a wash for me. Now let's look at the stats, both passing the ball and running the ball. Ehlinger's total combined yards, 386. Kyler Murray's total combined yards, 396. Ehlinger, 5 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Kyler Murray, 5 total touchdowns, 1 interception. Are you kidding me? Only 10 total yards separating the two, same amount of touchdowns, and just 1 interception different? Is that a wash? I think that's a wash. Look, I'm a pretty respectful guy, but I kind of know college football just a little bit. This year, I'm going to say the same thing about both quarterbacks. It's probably going to be close to a wash. The Oklahoma defense does look a little bit better, but Ehlinger got his against LSU. I don't think he's going to have any problems getting his against the Sooners. On the other side of things, Texas's defense is not as good as advertised, but it's still decent. I believe Hurts will be able to find some weaknesses, though. He'll get his as well. Before the start of the season, I said what was going to happen in this game was going to be the absolute flip of what happened last year. That is, last year, Texas won the regular season matchup, Oklahoma won the Big 12 championship game. This year, I'm sticking to my guns and I'm saying Oklahoma's going to win the regular season matchup, Texas is going to win the Big 12 championship game here in 2019. So yeah, I'm going with that, and I'm going to say Oklahoma wins this game. No rhyme or reason, to be honest. This is really an excellent, unreal matchup in week 7, and it's anyone's game, so I gotta pick somebody, and I just have a feeling that Oklahoma's gonna win. Lego, what makes your feeling any better than anyone else's? Well, I don't think it is, but again, I am 63-35 against the spread. That's not that bad. My feelings are on more than they're off. After seeing that Oklahoma is favored by 10.5 right out the gates, that's alarming to me. Let's go back to the rule that I just said. That spread's much higher than what I originally planned. I thought I would go with Texas to at least cover the spread, but I'm gonna go with Oklahoma to win and cover the spread, 43-31. All right, so there you have it. My week 7 college football predictions and picks. I hope you enjoyed them. I always enjoy making them. Subscribe right here if you want the most fun, creative, and entertaining college football content all season long. Guys, from the bottom of my heart, for the people who already have, thank you so much. Like this video if you liked it. Today I'm shouting out my boy, hey, it's Rift. He does some awesome live commentary on NFL and college football games, and he also dabbles a little bit in the gaming community. This kid is talented, man. Seriously, listen to him on some of that live action. He crushes it. Head on over to his page, it's linked in the description below. Let him know that Lego on Fuego sent you so that he knows you're good people. I, of course, am Lego on Fuego. The fire's out for now, but it, of course, will be up and running again soon. I can promise you that. I'll see you guys then, and God bless.